Hello everyone, my name's Matthew Wainwright and I'm a time tunneler. Today I want to talk to you about a very dangerous book. You might wonder, how can a book be dangerous? Well, some books are dangerous, usually because of what they say, and some grown-ups can be very cross with this and try and stop people from reading books, and people have fought and died over books. And the book I want to talk to you about today is one of the most dangerous books in the world, but it's a book that you have probably seen. You might have it at home, it might even be in your school, and it's this book. It's a Bible, but the Bible in English. And I'll tell you why it was dangerous. We're going to go back about 500 years to Tudor times when King Henry VIII was king here in England. And at that time, religion was part of most people's lives and most people would be Christian. But the church was very powerful. And at that time, they had said that the only language that people could read the Bible in was Latin. And that's because the Bible had been translated into Latin a long time before. They didn't want people reading it in English because they said that people might start making mistakes and coming up with new teachings and all sorts of things like this. But there were some people who believed that no, people should be able to read the Bible in their own language. One of these was a man called William Tyndale, and he lived in England and he started to translate the Bible from Latin and other languages, Hebrew and Greek, into English. But it was illegal, so he had to run away to the continent, to Europe, and carry on his work there in secret. And at that time, this was the beginning of printing. Before this, books had to be all written out by hand. You might have seen people doing it, hunched over long desks, writing those beautiful books by hand with quill pens. But people had invented printing machines a little while before, and William Tyndale's translation of the Bible was one of the first books to be printed, lots of them printed and sent out for people to read for themselves, to see what the Bible said for themselves. But lots of people were arrested because the authorities said, you can't be doing this, you can't have the Bible in English. And people were arrested and they were even killed just because they had a copy of the Bible in English. Now, an unlikely hero in all of this is Anne Boleyn, who you might have heard of, which was Henry VIII's second wife. And she was a supporter of this. She said that people should be able to read the Bible in their own language. But at the time, that was a very dangerous thing to say. And she supported people who said that this would be the case. And as you remember, what ended up happening to her was she got her head cut off. Not just because of that, for other reasons, but that might have been part of it. Since then, of course, the Bible has been translated into English and anyone can read it in their own language. But there are still books around the world today which are banned, which people say you can't read and you shouldn't read because of the ideas that are in them. For our writing challenge, I don't want us to think about books that should be banned and that no one should read. I want you to shout about the books and things that you love to read. Maybe you love to read a lot, maybe you don't love reading quite so much, but I'm sure you've read something somewhere, or there's been a book that's inspired you. Could be a long book, could be a short book, could be a comic book. I want you to write about that book and why you think everybody should read that book and why it's so fantastic. I want us to celebrate books and reading and not think about banning them. So I hope you enjoy your writing challenge. I hope everybody enjoys going back to school after a long summer holiday. And I hope you all keep writing and keep time tunneling. Bye-bye.